I was 13 when I finally understood that something was terribly wrong with how my mother loved me. The school counselor pulled me aside one Tuesday morning. She said I looked unwell, that my eyes seemed hollow. When they weighed me, I saw their expressions change. 78 pounds at 13 years old. "We need to call your mother," the nurse said quietly. Panic flooded through me. "Please don't, she'll pull me out of school. She needs me at home." The counselor sat down slowly. "Why would she do that, Daniel?" My hands were shaking. "She tells me she can't survive without me, that I'm the only thing keeping her alive. But she also says other people wouldn't understand our relationship." I pulled out my phone and showed them the messages. I watched the color drain from their faces as they scrolled. Message after message, hundreds of them. "How long has your mother been sending you messages like this?" The counselor asked. "Since Dad left." 2 years ago, the counselor called the principal. Then they called the police. A police officer arrived within the hour and began reading through months of messages while I sat there, my chest tightening with fear. "Why do you have banking apps on your phone?" the officer asked. "I pay all the bills. Mom says numbers give her panic attacks, so I handle everything. The rent, groceries, utilities. If I don't do it, we'll get evicted." Saying it out loud made me realize how exhausted I was. The officer asked me to show him a typical day of messages. My hands trembled as I scrolled to yesterday and started reading aloud. "Good morning, my soulmate. You're the only reason I'm still breathing. Don't leave me alone today. If you go to school, I'll have no reason to keep living. You're more of a man than your father ever was. Why aren't you answering? I'm taking all my pills right now. Never mind, I spit them out. Please come home. You're the only person who truly loves me." Every word felt like broken glass in my throat. "She calls you her soulmate every single day?" the officer asked. "Since Dad left, yeah. She tells me about her dates, which men she finds attractive, her money problems, everything." "When did you last sleep through the night?" I couldn't remember. Mom would wake me at all hours crying about how lonely she was. Sometimes she'd crawl into my bed sobbing about Dad leaving us, holding on to me until dawn. When they called Mom to the school, she arrived screaming. The sound of her voice made me physically flinch. "You're trying to steal my baby from me," she shrieked, grabbing my arm. "He's all I have left." "Tell them, Daniel. Tell them how much you love taking care of me." The counselor kept her voice steady. "Ma'am, your son weighs 78 pounds because he's not eating. He's failing every class. He's managing your entire emotional and financial life. He's 13 years old. He's mature for his age. He wants to help me. We're soulmates." The word hung in the air like poison. "I mean, we have a special connection." Mom corrected herself quickly. The officer spoke up. "You just called your 13-year-old son your soulmate. That's completely inappropriate." Mom turned to me with tears streaming down her face. "After everything I've sacrificed for you. I stayed alive even though I wanted to die. Your father abandoned us, and I could have ended it all, but I didn't because you needed a mother." "Actually," the officer interrupted, "you needed him as a therapist and emotional support system, which is abuse." Mom screamed that I was betraying her just like Dad did, that she had nothing to live for without me, that she'd kill herself the moment I left. They arrested her right there in the principal's office. A social worker arrived within an hour, and that's when the truth Mom had been hiding finally came out. Dad hadn't abandoned us at all. He'd been sending child support checks that Mom cashed, but never mentioned. He filed for custody 6 times. Each time, Mom threatened to jump off a bridge if he didn't back down. "Your father has been trying to see you for 2 years, the social worker explained gently. Everything I believed shattered in that moment. They gave me 2 options, foster care or living with Dad, while Mom received mandatory psychiatric treatment. Mom had to be physically restrained when they told her. She was screaming that I was her soulmate, her reason for living. "A therapist," the counselor said firmly. "That's what therapists are for." That was 4 months ago. I live with Dad now. I sleep through the night. I've gained 20 pounds. I have real friends my own age who actually want to talk about normal teenage things instead of adult problems I was never meant to carry. Last week, Mom called from the psychiatric facility. Her voice was different, quieter somehow.